What's the one thing that can save you from a mountain of debt when life throws a curveball? No, it's not a lottery ticket, it's an emergency fund. But how much do you actually need? $1,000, 3 months of salary, 6 months. The internet is full of conflicting advice, and frankly, it can be overwhelming. Today, we're going to cut through all that noise. I'm going to show you a simple, scientific way to calculate the exact amount you need for your emergency fund, tailored specifically to your life and your expenses. No more guessing, no more anxiety. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear, actionable number to work towards. So grab a notebook or open up a spreadsheet because we're about to build your financial safety net. Step by step first, let's get on the same page. What is an emergency fund for? It's not for a weekend trip to Vegas or the latest smartphone. It's for true unexpected crises. Think job loss, a sudden medical bill, or a major home repair like a burst pipe. It's the cash buffer that keeps a bad situation from becoming a financial catastrophe. It prevents you from having to go into high-interest credit card debt, or even worse, cashing out your long-term investments at the worst possible time. Having this fund in place gives you peace of mind, knowing you can handle whatever life throws at you without derailing your entire financial future. The goal is to have this money liquid and accessible, meaning in a high-yield savings account, not tied up in stocks or real estate. Okay, let's get down to business. The first step is to figure out your absolute bare bones monthly expenses. This is not your total monthly spending. I repeat, this is not your total spending. This is the minimum amount of money you need to survive for 1 month if you lost all your income. We're talking about essentials only. So, let's break it down. Start with your housing. This is your rent or your mortgage payment. If you own your home, also include property taxes and homeowners insurance divided by 12 to get the monthly cost. Next, utilities. This includes electricity, gas, water, and trash service. Look at your bills from the last few months to get an average. Don't forget your internet bill. In today's world, that's definitely an essential, especially if you need to search for a new job. Now, let's move on to food. This is a big one, and it's easy to overestimate. We're not talking about your current grocery bill, which might include fancy cheeses and organic kombucha. We're talking about a survival food budget. How much would you spend on groceries if you were really cutting back? Think rice, beans, pasta, and basic proteins. No restaurants, no coffee shops, no food delivery. Be realistic, but be strict. A good way to estimate this is to track your grocery spending for a month and then see where you could realistically cut back by 30 to 50% in an emergency. Next up is transportation. If you have a car loan, that payment is an essential. You also need to budget for gasoline, car insurance, and basic maintenance. Again, look at your past spending to get a monthly average for gas. If you rely on public transportation, calculate your monthly pass or fare costs. The goal is to have enough to get to job interviews, the grocery store, and other necessary appointments. Don't forget insurance. Health insurance premiums are a must. If you get your insurance through your employer, you'll need to budget for the COBRA cost, which can be significantly higher than what you're used to. You can find this information by contacting your HR department. Also include any life insurance or disability insurance premiums you pay. Then there are debt payments. This includes any student loans, credit card minimum payments, personal loans, or any other debt you have. In an emergency, you absolutely must make the minimum payments on your debts to avoid damaging your credit score and incurring late fees. List out every single minimum payment and add them all up. Finally, think about any other absolute necessities. This could be prescription medications, basic toiletries, or childcare if you need it to be able to look for work. Be very critical here. Is it a need or a want? A gym membership is probably a want. Your child's asthma medication is a need. Write down only the true essentials. This is your bare bones monthly survival cost. And minimum debt payments are $300. Essential monthly expense would be $3,000. This is the number we'll use for the next step. Take a moment to calculate your own number right now. Now that you have your essential monthly expense number, the next question is, how many months should you save for? The classic advice is 3 to 6 months, but which is right for you? This depends entirely on your personal situation and your risk tolerance. For each factor, give yourself a score from 1 to 3. First, job stability. A score of 1 means your job is very unstable. Maybe you're a freelancer with unpredictable income, a contract worker, or you work in a volatile industry that sees frequent layoffs. A score of 2 means your job is moderately stable. You have a steady paycheck, but your industry has its ups and downs, or maybe you're relatively new to your company. A score of 3 means your job is highly stable. Think government jobs, healthcare, or a tenured position. Be honest with yourself. Second, income sources. A score of 1 means you are the sole earner in your household. If you lose your job, the income drops to 0. A score of 2 means you live in a dual income household, but your incomes are very different. If the higher earner loses their job, it would be a major financial blow. A score of 3 means you're in a dual income household where both partners earn similar amounts, or you have significant, reliable side income. If one income stream disappears, the other can still cover most of the essentials. Third, dependents. A score of 1 means you have multiple dependents, like children or elderly parents who rely on you financially. More dependents mean more risk and more expenses. A score of 2 means you have one dependent, or perhaps a partner who doesn't work but is self-sufficient. A score of 3 means you have no dependents. It's just you. Now add up your scores. Your total score will be between 3 and 9. If you scored between 3 and 4, you are in a higher risk situation. You should aim for a minimum of 6 months of essential expenses in your emergency fund. You have less of a safety net, so you need to build a bigger one for yourself. If you scored between 5 and 7, you're in a moderate risk category. A good target for you would be 4 to 5 months of expenses. You have some stability, but you're not completely immune to shocks. If you scored between 8 and 9, you're in a low-risk position. You can likely get by with 3 months of essential expenses saved up. Your stable situation means you can probably find new income or adjust more easily if an emergency strikes. Let's go back to our example. Our essential monthly expense was $3,000. Let's say this person is a single earner score 1, has a moderately stable job score 2, and has one child score 2. Their total score is 5. This puts them in the moderate risk category, so they should aim for, let's say, 5 months of savings. So we multiply their monthly expense of $3,000 by 5 months. Now, you might be looking at your final number and thinking, wow, that's a lot of money. How am I ever going to save that much? Don't panic. The key is to start small and be consistent. The first goal for everyone should be to save at least $1,000. This is your starter emergency fund. It's enough to cover a car repair or a dental emergency without reaching for a credit card. Focus all your extra cash on hitting that $1,000 milestone. Once you have your starter fund, you can work towards your full goal. Set up an automatic transfer from your checking account to your high-yield savings account every single payday. Even if it's just $25 or $50 to start. The important thing is to build the habit. Treat it like any other bill that has to be paid. Pay yourself first. Look for ways to temporarily increase your income or decrease your spending. Can you pick up a few extra shifts at work? Sell some things you no longer need. Pause your subscriptions for a few months. Every little bit counts and will get you to your goal faster. Remember, building a fully funded emergency fund is a marathon, not a sprint. It might take a year or even a few years to get there. That's perfectly okay. The peace of mind you'll gain along the way is priceless. Every dollar you add to that fund is another brick in your wall of financial security. It's one of the most powerful and liberating things you can do for your financial well-being. So, calculate your number, set up that automatic transfer, and start building your financial fortress today. You've got this. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this guide helpful, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more straightforward financial advice. Let me know in the comments what your emergency fund goal is. See you next time.